Look who's first. This amazing bean. Yep. Who's a good viewer? You are. Have a cookie. Re-Crix heart.
Hello, guys. Hello. How are you guys doing? Hope you're doing good. Go to bed, Eve. I know how you are. Go to bed. Go eat. Go sleep. Go deep. Anyways, in the meantime, how's everyone else doing? We're gonna be just doing a short stream tonight because I'm tired, and two, I should probably like focus on like de-stressing a bit because, you know, considering everything that's happened, it's taken a lot out of me, and I didn't figure that out until like after I showed up at my job today, in which I was just kind of like half out of it. So I also only got like 4 hours of sleep last night, and God, the naps on the fucking train, they were magical. Okay, I'm pretty sure the end result of me having my naps made children at Disneyland look lethargic. That's how good they were. All right, let's see what we can find, because there are a couple like actual videos that I've found recently. I just don't know how many of them we didn't go through previously versus what I've found. Yeah, train, honestly, okay, so I had an idea for an invention. Okay, like a really funny idea for an invention, right? And that's, that we should make a bed that can simulate the motion of a train on train tracks. So you know how we have like rocking cribs for babies, and that kind of helps them like soothe them to sleep? We need that before adults, where we have one that's like able to mimic like a car's movement or like a train's movement. Like I think people genuinely find that comforting. I think it would be like a hit product. Genuinely do. Oh, that's me. Hey Springer, welcome on in. That's some good apple juice. What are you hearing? One of my favorite vaporwave artists, named Vapor Roar. You're not wrong. That's the worst part. Yeah, exactly. Like people find it soothing. People find it soothing to be on a bed, or like in an area which they can feel motion, like where it's almost simulating like a rocking crib or anything like that. Why that's not like a thing for adults is beyond me. Maybe it's because it's too generally expensive, but I think you can make it for fairly like at a semi-affordable price. Like it's not something that like the top 10% would have. Bud, mask. Oh, it is on. I thought it wasn't on. I was like, oh fuck. Cause I just saw you like barely go by my camera view. Stop. Let's go. Okay. So, but yeah, that's my whole thing. Is I wish that was a thing. I would, hell, maybe I'll invent it. We'll see. We'll fucking see. I don't know, man. I think I can maybe do it. I don't really know, honestly. You know, we're gonna big brain it. It's big brain time. Okay, so we have a lot of videos we still have to go through, so I think this is where we left off. So let's start here. I'm gonna switch over to the main screen. Pop my ugly face over there. Or maybe not. I am kind of tired. What? Is she sniffing your food? Piper, no. Your gluttony sickens me. I swear, Popcorner Queen's becoming less of a popcorner queen and more of a hungry bitch. Hungry hippo over here. What did you eat today? Next question. I had donuts this morning. I had like mini donuts, and then I'm currently eating some frozen pizza. I did not have lunch, oddly enough, but that was because I needed to sleep more than I needed to eat, so I chose a priority. But I did get to snack on a couple things due to a couple of kind souls who randomly gifted me things for Valentine's Day, so that was nice. Yeah, it was nice. Okay, let's get into the chaos here. Okay, the first video we have up today is actually a continuation of the Teleblue series, and I'm excited for that because I fucking love this series.
This video is brought to you by...
Honestly, once things like even out, I might actually start supporting this person on Patreon. Alright, let's get the screen over real quick. And let's get started. No, I don't want game capture. I need window capture. Alright, cool. Unironically had pizza for dinner. Look, pizza's pizza, man. Pizza's great. Who doesn't like... actually, I have met people who don't like pizza. It's really weird. I've genuinely met people who don't like pizza. Those people are sickos.
The Tapeworm YouTube donors. And by viewers like you. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so what's this about? Online anomaly. Interesting, okay. Teleblue Online was a brief test conducted by an outsourced team commissioned by McNeil Tech. Little is known about the mysterious developers of the website, as they were completely separate from the Kramer and Lancaster main branch. The series due to the many shareholders pulling the Teleblue contracts that anyone under the main branch was blacklisted from the entire industry. Therefore, I'm reading that. The site developers wanted no association with anything McNeil related. Jesus Christ. Was an attempt of trying to emulate Kramer's Val source code with an HTML setting. Isn't that the thing that has the face?
Hey there! Have you ever wanted to watch Teleblue on your computer? Now you can with the new Teleblue Online. Go to www.telebluecable.com. There you'll be able to access our shop, watch TV right on your computer, and even get a glimpse
looks
into
so
the
well.
distant
Okay,
future.
I have to comment on this. I know we're pausing it a ton. I'm sorry, but like the visuals, perfect of the era, matches 2000. 100%. You could have gotten a better voiceover. Hell, I would have done a better voiceover for free. Please. Tapeworm, reach out. I'll do free voices for you. I will. I'll do it. I can do a pretty good, like, advertisement thing. It's not, like, perfect, but I can do it. But yeah, my only gripe. But, like, the visuals... perfect of the era, matches it distinctly, very dynamic. I love this.
Everything you've come to expect with Teleblue. Browse the most popular TV networks Teleblue has to offer.
I want to see this
Catch your
series get
favorite
better.
shows and
I really
movies
do.
in full
Because
clarity.
it's really
You
good.
can watch shows from years into the future before anyone else with Teleblue Sneak Peek. Go to www.telebluecable.com and log on today. The Blue Horizon awaits.
So they actually advertise that as a feature. That's weird. Find a way to modify the authentication settings within the plugin. Okay. Most will be 13-year-old Wesley Velez managed to compile the entire Val source code. He's the only... Holy crap. A 13-year-old. Okay. Hidden DRM. Sensitive contents have been obscured. Viewer discretion is advised. Uh-oh. What are we playing? We're not playing anything today. We're actually watching some horror videos. Also, welcome on in, AT. How you doing?
Hey, so I think I finally cracked this Teleblue internet TV thing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, this really bougie TV company called Teleblue had this incredibly short-lived web service where you download a couple of drivers on a Windows machine, and then let you watch TV like your computer was a cable box. Now, it was available for maybe 2 months-ish? I couldn't get it out of my head because of that damn sneak peek feature. I don't know if they had any deals with these networks, but you could be watching like the next big
Piper.
Cartoon Network shows and stuff. Now, I have connections to get movies before anyone else. Sure, but TV shows are a whole other ballpark. Like, nothing's stopping me from just recording my screen and selling off the tapes. The only issue, we can't connect to the service anymore. Fuck, you can't even install the drivers anymore. It just spits out the same 087 error code every time. Which is so weird because I did have this installed back last summer. And then after the service died, so did the drivers. Like some self-destruct button shit. The weird thing is though, I went through my browser cache from last summer and I discovered an IP address that I could still actively ping. This implies the service is still active, but just needs elevated permissions. So I spent the last 2 months painstakingly decompiling the drivers, figuring out every single little thing that makes it tick. Turns out, it runs on complete automation.
Somebody said my BSFS. I don't know what BSFS means, but... Oh, your best friends. Never mind, I know what that means. Best friend's boyfriend was cheating on him with me. I beat someone down with a shoe for that. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that is not a joke statement. What the fuck? I'm sorry.
And literally, it took me 2 months, but that was just me trying to find a backdoor instead of just checking if the front door was unlocked. So I decompiled the drivers, gave myself some elevated permissions, recompiled it all, and here we are. I just want to record my first trial run because it's very possible they can shutter me from the servers after detecting access. If I'm gonna catch any early shows on camera, it might as well be now, and I can just cut the tape later. Okay. Wow. I wasn't expecting that to install. I guess we'll just have to see if it'll work. The only caveat is that even when the service was operating, it kinda had to keep refreshing the site to get. Holy fucking shit, we're in. Oh my fucking god. We did it. We fucking did it. Oh, this is insane. Holy shit. I gotta update my boys on the chat room. Wait, what? The sneak peek work? What the hell is this? Dude, this is insane. This is genuinely insane. I need to... Fuck, I have to block my IP. Let me try refreshing the page again. I guess I'm glad I got the footage at least. Okay,
Yep.
what the hell? Wait.
It's the face.
What's
It's the
anomaly?
face. He wasn't even joking. Like, there were screenshots of them saying that, and they told it. No. I'm not saying that. Like, what I'm saying is that's not something to joke about or like make a lie about. Like, that can actually destroy people's lives, and like no one actually was at fault. You know. That's kind of what I mean when I say joke. Like that's just extremely fucked up.
I don't think I was supposed to access this. What is this even for? Son of a... Let me see.
Dude, I think I slowly see the face.
Whoa, fuck! Fuck, that caught me off guard. Fuck. I'm getting somewhere though.
Oh, those are eyeballs? The eyeballs are twitching. Oh, okay.
This website is so scuffed. Who the hell designed this shit?
What the fuck?
Wait, why can't I refresh this? Fuck, I think I'm infected by machine shit. Fuck, it's not letting me close out of my shit. God damn it.
Uh-oh. I hung out with his boyfriend when he was around, and I have 5 messages with the boyfriend that aren't in a GC with my best friend in it.
Man, I have my password saved on here. I have early cuts of movies, unreleased pilots. I can't open my shit.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Please let everything be on here.
Pokemon.
Thank fucking God. I have to start bagging up my shit. I don't... I...
What the fuck? We'll be right back. Jesus Christ, man.
Fucking kidding me, Gabe.
Yeah, no, I have caught on to, like, everything so far, but, like, it's super fucked.
No, this is horseshit. Do you realize
Yusuf, enough. I agree with you. I'm literally just relaying the message.
we just had a company party last night? How could Donovan fuck us over like this?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm just as angry as you are. He's been so hyper-focused on signing on new networks.
Yeah? He should remember he has fucking employees to look after. We already have enough trouble with these...
Call him yourself then. Don't yell at me on Donovan's behalf. Yell at him yourself.
You know what? Yeah. I think I'll... Motherfucker thinks you can hide from me. Dodging me like the plague. on a second.
Use it.
Hold on.
Just leave a message.
The fuck you think? Good afternoon, Mr. McNeil. Hope all is well. I just wanted to touch base regarding the downsizing. I just think you maybe should reconsider your decision. We've been incredibly swamped with, Oh, Mr. McNeil.
Jesus. Yeah, there's something, like, really sketchy going on. What's the video called? Literally just look up Teleblue. There's a whole series. We've been slowly, like, following it as, like, stuff has been going on, so. I highly, highly recommend that for those of you who are just now watching this, you get into, like, the whole thing, because it is good. Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. It's actually a show I haven't thought about in years. Uh-oh.
This is Nick on Demand.
You're watching Nick on Demand, brought to you by...
Stop by and say hello to SpongeBob, Fairly Odd Parents, Jimmy Neutron, and more. Just come on over and see what's happening on Nick. Spread the word, people!
We'll be right back.
Wow. The face is getting aggressive. Or should I say Val? Because that is what it is. It's an AI named Val.
Now back to the show.
Not the FNAF 3 sound effect.
Now back to the show.
Damn, I can't believe they took Josh Peck's face. You gotta pay for anything? What do you mean? I went to a website once. It's on YouTube. What?
Don't worry. Don't go anywhere.
We'll be right back.
Don't move.
I want to move.
We'll be right back.
What the fuck? What in the actual fuck, dude? Val fucking killed him for pirating Drake and Josh. Man, yeah, that's honestly pretty good. I don't know how, but like, tape does not disappoint. God, that was good. Okay, next one on the list is... No, I'll take fuck that for 600, please. You know, you're right. You're totally right. All right, here we go. FNAF 2 Withered's Night. Let's see what this one's like. Okay, let me refresh this. Hold on. Okay. Go. I hear the faint whispers. Shadow Bonnie? You have one new message. Hey Jeremy, Night 3, nice work on making it this far. Company sent the toy animatronics back to the factory tonight. They found some problems with their systems, so you won't see them around the building. The old animatronics still in parts of service, they're not supposed to move, they barely work anymore. If they move a little, it's the chains messing around. Old metal does that. No, trust me, they're not going anywhere, but keep an eye on the room from time to time. Should be a quiet night with the toys out of the building. If anything acts up, just log into your tablet and we'll check it in the morning. Alright, that's all. Good luck tonight, Jeremy. Hey, welcome on in, God. God? God? I meant to say gone, but I guess you're God now. Congratulations, you've been promoted. I don't fucking know. Look, I'm just as confused as you are. I don't know what the fuck just came out of my mouth. Yeah, hi, God, how's it doing? Been a while since we've seen you. When's the rapture? Words, I guess. Look, I never claimed to be a smart person, just one that existed. How are you doing, Gon? Hey, guy, where's the patch notes for the next update? Because this update sucks, yeah. Promoted? Oh, hell nah. You ready for that shit? I just work retail in the pharmacy. Gon, I think you do a better job than whatever fucking episode of Earth we're on now. I'm gonna be honest. Oh, fuck. Why does the puppet not have a face? Hashtag keep Gon God, yeah. Yeah, I know Witherbonnet has his face. I was really confused by that too. Oh. Oh. Yeah, seeing Withered Bonnie with an extra arm and the face is weird. I think the most jarring thing about all of this is that it's made to feel like a dream. Foxy? Was that the part of 87? Hey, Uzi. Oh, God. Let me ask Matt real quick. Bro is the only reason I know FNAF lore. That is entirely fair. In my dreams, the walls scream at me. How about you? Huh? Chica with her with her the whites of the eyes and no beak is jarring as fuck. Oh hey! It's Candy! Huh. My first non-hetero crush was Toy Chica. Hold on, let me break that statement down on another level. Your first lesbian crush was Toy Chica. She fine. You know, as much as I want to poke fun at that statement, as much as I really want to, I can't. And you want to know why? Because you understand how much porn there is of Toy Chica. Too much. Too much. I'm also a monster fuck. You know, yeah. Yeah, that's too, what do you mean there is? What do you mean there is? Have we been on the same internet? This is your community, Crix. Uzi? Hey, sweetie, shut the fuck up. I'm also a monster fucker. Is there anyone here who's not a monster fucker? So much for having a fucking 16 plus community. God damn. You? Maybe? I refuse to answer that. Some guy in the back. I am. No, werewolves. Uzi, I know you're a monster fucker. We're moving on. We're moving on. I don't want to have this conversation anymore. As my first act of God, everyone's a monster fuck. You know what? Hey, bud. You mind taking me out back and shooting me in the fucking head? I'm gonna take that as a no. Yeah, okay. Well, El just shook his head no. I don't get relief. Yet. Goblins be thick, or fine and thick. You know why Gon is the new god, apparently? It's because the old one died. Out of embarrassment of what we've become. Just saying. That is rude. I would be so proud. That is such a wild statement. An apple pie in the U.S. Virgin Islands is $8. A cherry pie is... I don't want to know where this is going. Uzi, why do you know the cost of different pies in the Caribbean? Like father, like children. Are you insinuating that whichever fucking deity actually exists, if any, likes to fuck monsters? Read it again slowly. An apple pie in the U.S. Virgin Islands is $8. A cherry pie in Jamaica is $6. A peach pie in Barbados is $4.50. I just figured you want to know about the pie rates in the Caribbean.
Okay. Okay, yeah. I get it. That was a good one. Pirates in the Caribbean. Pirates in the Caribbean. I get it. That's funny. Like, I'm a sucker for dad jokes, but like that one specifically got me pretty good. Gotta admit. Monster fucker, everyone. I cast upon you, monster fucker. I guess you're a monster fucker now. Why? Cause chat's saying everyone's a monster fucker. Also, don't you act like you wouldn't smack a vampire. Right after a beer. Hey, that bomb is shaped like a deer. Sorry, what? I'm getting You wanna run that by me again, bud? Did you just say you don't consider vampires to be monsters?
Kind of are in a sense, but they don't really, I don't know, most I've seen, they don't really have like
any Do dragons count as monsters? Personally, I would say yes. It's so weird to come into a wholesome Re-Crix stream and it's all monster fucking up in here. Uzi, I blame you, okay? I blame you wholeheartedly, without a doubt, okay? Absolutely do. Absolutely, positively do, okay? It's not like on my feed today that, you know, I ended up coming across a rather vulgar, you know, with, you know, and you saw it's going inside of its... It was kind of gruesome. It was really messy. There was white everywhere. You know, it's, you know what that is. It's just... And, you know, when that all kind of culminates into an image, some people might find it attractive. Others will absolutely go ahead and yeah, that's how kids are made. My therapist is gonna love our next session. Jesus fucking Christ! Don't you fucking say that. Don't you say that, or I'll give your therapist a reason to cry. Do I detect a hint of voice mod sensor? Actually, no, that's not what that was in the slightest. I do not have voice mod installed. Thank you, Papa. I really needed the baby talk. Jesus fucking Christ. Hey, Crix. Did I step up? Did I cross a line? Did I cross a line? I drew Mark Hamill on my roommate's forehead while he was asleep. You should have seen the look on it. Ah! Anyways.
Re-Crix is a game that on first appearance looks fairly innocent, presenting itself as an older, low-budget children's title, despite being a modern game created and released by Micah McGonigal in 2018, inspired by classic edutainment titles like Sonic Schoolhouse. However, beneath its simple and shoddy exterior, Baldi's Basics hides a complex and unsettling mystery that needs a whole-ass video in order to unravel it. Jumping right in, the game begins with Baldi welcoming you to his schoolhouse.
Welcome to my schoolhouse.
Oh, hi. Welcome to my schoolhouse.
Great guy. Going in here, you can find this notebook, which when you collect prompts that
You're
you
doing
can think
great.
where you have to answer basic
Come and
math
collect your
questions about 7
prize.
notebooks
A
throughout the level.
shiny quarter.
I think you might be smarter than me.
Nailed it.
You did great.
Alright, easy enough.
Get your prize.
let me get this quarter real quick. Yay. Oh, alright. Baldy says you can't hide from me.
I used to have a crush on Baldy.
Let's go. Yep, got it. 6 minus 4. 2, obviously.
Problem 3.
What?
Minus equals.
I hear every door you open. That can't be good. Oh, okay. Guess I gotta jump rope now. Okay, yeah. Oh! This is where the real Baldi's Basics begins, as the third question on this ThinkPad always corrupts, making it impossible to answer, causing Baldi to go insane. Which then makes the goal to get the hell away from Baldi while avoiding lots of random encounters and finding objects to help you along the way. All while you try to collect the notebooks and find all 4 exits to get out of the schoolhouse, or otherwise get caught by Baldi. And yet, this is only where the insanity begins, as this game gets much crazier than most players realize. Baldi's Basics has 3 different modes. Classic, which is essentially the original Baldi's Basics game. Party, where everything is decorated like a birthday party. And Demo, which samples some of the upcoming content for Baldi's Basics Plus. Once you beat all 3 styles, you unlock the game's fun settings, Mirrored, Lights Out, Hard Mode, and Free Run. Then beat the Classic mode again with the first 3 fun modes active, and you'll unlock the new mode, Null. Null normally being a coding term used for a value that's undefined, can't be found, or doesn't exist in the data, which seems pretty fitting, as when you boot it up, you can only find this single You Can ThinkPad, which displays static and you can't do anything with only a single message that says stop looking for me. This is all you can do here for now, but we can make some progress with this mysterious null mode by uncovering more secrets in Baldi's 3 other modes. Beginning in Classic style, we have to answer every question wrong, which unfortunately significantly increases Baldi's speed for each wrong answer, and eventually causes the whole screen to go red. If you manage to get out, you'll be met with this screen, which is actually a wall. And then you can apparently enter Baldi's office, where Baldi's
Which
like
we've
this
done that
for
before.
some reason.
We've actually done this.
Behind him is a mysterious character called Noel.
Oh, jeepers, you found me. Good job. I'm glad you found me. Look, I have something kind of important to say. Don't just... This is probably looking pretty ridiculous. What I'm saying is get out of this while you still can. You know, I'm not someone trapped inside the game. That would be ridiculous. I got really corrupted. Vague intentionally. That's, I guess. Wish I could say more. I can't talk normally. It's corrupted. Just close the program, destroy it, never come back.
Okay. Moving on to Party Style. Party Style is already a pretty suspicious mode on its own, as when you get out of the schoolhouse. Oh, for me?
Go on.
This is
Blow out the candle.
true.
You guys shouldn't have.
And it's really weird.
Well, time to make a wish. After blowing out the candle, you can then for some reason walk off the platform into midair.
Thanks for the Crix cover.
Wow.
I really need to do another cover.
Then more and more
I am
corrupted
so
Baldies
fucking
start
behind.
Flying in from every direction. What is happening? What the? Wow. What is happening? Whoa.
Can you do It's Been So Long?
Oh my god.
I really want to, but if I do it, I want to ensure that I can do it correctly, you know?
For some reason, Over here, a single Baldy can be found cowering in fear. Which is when you get the game's end screen, and then candles suddenly start swarming the screen in every direction with the message, "Congratulations, this is all your fault." However, that's only the normal ending for party mode, as you can also get a rare
may I recommend Never Gonna Give You Up? You wouldn't be the first one, actually.
Teleporter from a vending machine. After obtaining the teleporter and blowing out the candle, you can then use the teleporter to get back to ground level. Gotta wait while it shuffles. And here you can find Noel again, waiting for you in detention.
You sure aren't clever enough to listen to me. I thought you destroy this game before something bad happens. It's weird. It's completely different. Finish. I don't. That is a great idea to produce. Messing around. I don't know why I'm coughing.
Oh no, I would be perfectly down to do it. Are you fucking kidding me? I love Rick Astley's songs. I don't listen to them very often, but they're good. They're fun.
Which leads us to the last mode, Demo Mode, which is the hardest of all the secret endings to achieve. Once you reach the end of the Demo Mode,
When are you ever gonna do a fuck ice thingy? What do you mean?
All the questions again using balloons in the question machine. Once you answer the last question, you'll get something called a portal poster, which you can place on walls to find hidden secret areas, including this secret area which leads to Noel's basement, which is incredibly difficult to get to considering Baldy is still chasing you while you do this. Turns out, Noel's basement is massive, complete with a stream of water, switches that lead to more areas, and a conspiracy theorist board centered around where is 99. Next to this board is a
Oh yeah, the fuck
button
ice
which
emote.
when approached-
Whenever I can convince someone to draw it.
Why won't you listen to me? Right. You want to explore to figure out the lore. I get it. Well, lucky for you. There's a lot of lore down here. Yeah, did you see that? This weird conspiracy billboard thing. You can't even begin to know. Did you know my name is Null? Not literally null. It's just my name. I have no name. The most sensible thing to call me is Null, but that's not the point. Oh, you're very.
I also gotta go. My dad just got up. All right, you take it easy, AT. Okay.
Figure out the story and the lore that I'm telling you. Forget all that, and just never come here again. I'm getting really angry. You know what? I'm just gonna foreclose the game. I can do that. I can teleport. Do it because I'm fed up with you. Fed up with anybody who plays this game. And fed up. I'm fed up with the whole game. Okay, so don't play this game. Stay it. Please take me seriously for once. Bye.
Coming back to the Null mode, we can see on the ThinkPad 3 check marks indicating we found him in the other modes, as well as Null's face in the bottom corner and a message that says, "This won't be fun," which is accurate, as it's impossible to get any questions correct, and Null can quickly catch you, causing the game world to intensely glitch out. Whoa. And the game crashed. If you're able to stay away from Null long enough to collect the rest of the notebooks, once you make it to the last exit, Null will suddenly appear.
Idiot. You really thought we could actually beat this? No, you see, I've closed the last exit. Which means there's literally no way you can win. That's not supposed to happen. Quit the game. And never please, just leave. Just leave and fucking around. I brought the game. There's
the fuck?
Just waiting for you to play the game. Nothing else you can do. This is
Here
it.
goes nothing.
Okay. You know what? You are really going to regret that one.
Holy shit. Wow. The whole environment seems to glitch around you, with these holes warping and pulsating intensely as you try to outrun Noel in what is definitely the most difficult moment in the entire game. And if he catches you, the game crashes every time, making this chase all the more frustrating. Fortunately, there's random objects along the way you can throw at Noel to knock him back and slow him down. Get the f*** away from me, Noel. Managing to hit Noel with 10 objects in a row ends the chase, and you enter a door marked 99, which leads into this room.
What
and
the
on this
fuck?
desk is a journal with a message from the developer. Micah explains this isn't a developer was part of the lore type thing, but instead a one-off fourth wall breaking moment, where he simply wants to congratulate the player for getting this far. He says there is a story he wants to tell with Baldi's Basics, but it won't begin until the 1.0 version, which still hasn't been released as of this video. And the message closes with a thank you for playing the currently available versions.
Ah, I see you found a note from the developer. Well, this is what I think that everyone else thinks in life. I need to keep calm. I know why you keep playing. It's because you honestly think it is a game. You're not taking my warning seriously. Well, let me spell it out for you. This game. I said, heck, you've only ever played anything that's a game. Guess what? Just because doesn't mean... No!
Uh-oh.
Is he gone now?
He did.
Well, there's nothing else you can do in here at this point, except quit the game and go back to the menu. Except now Null Mode is replaced with a new mode called Glitch Mode, which is the same as Null Mode, except you're chased by the corrupted version of Baldi instead of Null. And the developer appears in the office at the end to thank you for playing the game.
Thanks for playing my game.
Along with a code in the closet that when put into a ThinkPad unlocks some debug features like invincibility. That could have came in handy earlier. Additionally, from here you might also find what might be the strangest event of the entire game by replaying the classic mode, where there's a rare chance you can see Null one final time. Replaying this mode, there's a 1 in 100 chance that when Baldi catches you, you'll see this critical error glitch screen. However, there's another 1 in 100 chance that
we've seen
something else
that.
can happen here on this error glitch screen, as the image will corrupt, before it eventually cuts to black for an extended period of time, until an image flickers in, which appears to be a mysterious person in red standing by a lake. It's unclear who this is, although they're not there for long, as the image distorts and Null appears, who eerily disappears, possibly ceasing to exist as he can no longer be found in the game from this point on. This scene can only appear once per game, unless you were to mod your Steam account and erase the achievement. It appears to be different every time, as it always seems to have different sounding glitch effects. However, there's even another occurrence that can rarely show up that was later removed from the game, as sometimes during this glitch Null ending, a face can show up, known as Place Face. Despite the rarity of this and the fact it's since been removed, my friend and collaborator Slippy Slides managed to get it to appear by modding a version of the game that wasn't the Steam version and erasing some of the data. Slippy says he's still unsure whether Place Face is a random occurrence, or if there's a trigger that makes it appear. He's also unsure, but suspects modding could alter random occurrences in the game, but as of now, no one knows if that's the case. Otherwise, we still have no idea if this face appearance is supposed to be here, nor did we ever figure out the meaning of the photo and the figure standing by the water. All we really know is that the mystery of Baldi's Basics will continue, and if we're going to find any answers, looks like we're going to have to wait until the 1.0 update, whenever that will be.
All you need to do is...
And another thing you can do while you still can. There's only a few days left to order this extremely rare collectible of buildables, which is available for pre-order right now.
Yeah, that was wild. Okay, we have time for one more tonight. So let's play, or not play this. Yeah, I'll play this one. So it's called Horses, the banned horror game. Video games being SCPs are amazing. Listen. If you gave me an infinite plane to exist on and travel around, like a la Infinite IKEA or the fucking crap, I forgot what the area in Majora's Mask is called. The one with just the singular large tree, but then just like the massive field. But you give me one of those, I will happily walk through it. Happily. Alright. Let's give this a go.
Despite the sensationalism and outrage that surrounds a lot of games these days, and frankly has throughout the entire history of the medium, it's rare to hear about any game actually being banned by major storefronts and distributors for extreme or controversial content. But in December of 2025, there was Horses. That's the name of a game, I'm not just speaking terribly. It's a psychological horror game with content so allegedly abhorrent that it warranted drastic and, to the developers, damaging action. And in a world where controversial or extreme games like Fear and Hunger, Postal 2, Hatred, Manhunt, and even Sad Satan, in a way, are freely sold on platforms like Steam alongside all manner of straight-up fetish games, it's odd.
Okay. Rectification on the Sad Satan thing, though. The difference between the thing that's on Steam and the actual version of supposedly Sad Satan is that the actual version contained child porn. The one that's on Steam is just a conceptualization based on it that doesn't have any illegal content. There was a reason Sad Satan was actually supposedly banned. I don't know if there's like a full, like, actual story. I've never actually properly looked into it. I don't want to. I don't want to at all.
To imagine anything being held back that isn't, like, plainly illegal, but here we are. Horses is a first-person horror game where we take the role of Anselmo, a young Italian man who has been sent to work on a farm by his displeased parents. A fate we've all endured, I'm sure. Being Italian. But not all
being
is
Italian,
how it seems, as this particular farm does not keep regular livestock. Instead, it holds imprisoned and brainwashed humans that are made to wear horse masks that are kept as animals for labor, sale, and some even darker purposes. Now, it might feel a little extreme to call this a banned game, given that it's still available on platforms like itch.io and GOG, but given that it was removed from platforms like Steam and the Epic Store, the ones that represent the vast majority of PC game distribution and sales, I think it's apt. I mean, saying that Steam and Epic make up most PC game sales is kind of like saying that all of the Earth's oceans plus a few very well-stocked vending machines contain most of the world's water. It's not wrong. I'm sure some people use those vending machines. Now, the game came out a couple of weeks ago, and I played it day one. The reason I haven't spoken about it earlier is, well, I was kind of waiting for, and also fully expecting, the video essayist crowds to swarm this game. And they kind of haven't, weirdly. It seems like the perfect topic for them, but hey-ho, now there's room for me to sneak into that niche. So today, we're going to take a look at the game and see just how dark it actually is, and if a ban was truly the way to go. I mean, it wasn't. Of course it wasn't. Nobody can afford pearls these days, let alone clutch them, but let's take a look anyway.
Yeah.
After arriving at the farm, Anselmo meets the farm's owner, a seemingly jolly man that gives him a warm welcome, unbothered by Anselmo's lack of experience, and simply happy to have company. He introduces us to the farm.
You don't... Okay, hold on. To work on a farm, you don't need experience. The only experience you can get for working on a farm is by working on a farm. Of course he's gonna be unbothered by it.
Basic ground rules, and then within minutes of us arriving, brings us to his nightmarish slave pen, which feels a bit quick. I don't and will not own such a pen, but if I did, I reckon I'd ease someone into the idea. What's especially chilling about this scene, other than the horses remaining strangely still throughout, is how completely normal the farmer acts about it. There's not even an undercurrent of guilt or
Get
knowing
on
in
a
his
horse!
words. To him, these truly are horses, and I think that's way scarier than many of the smirking do-badders in a lot of other fiction. There are some other characters in the game who also seem to treat them as horses, but they do have that underlying sense of, I know that you know, and no, we won't talk about it. There is one exception to this rule, but we'll speak about her later. And after meeting the horses, for the rest of the game we must help this farmer around his property with a variety of tasks, ranging from picking vegetables to disposing of trash and feeding dogs. What a cute little guy. Oh, and the whole game takes place over a short...
Even the dog isn't a dog! It's a brainwashed human wearing a dog mask!
14 days, or as they may say in Italy, 2 weeks. And the game doesn't just take place in Italy, it was made there too, and of course it was. Italy may have convinced the world that it's a country of rich history, ancient landmarks, Rome, Dante, Da Vinci e Ferrari, per l'amor di Dio, per favore, date un podio a Lewis Hamilton. And they are all of these things, but let's not forget they are also the country of Giallo, and movies like the adaptation of 120 Days of Sodom. They can be freaks like the rest of us. Hell, they invented various kinds of freak. They're very good at it, and that is very obvious here. Even outside of the grim narrative, there's all kinds of very effective, unnerving shit going on. And I'll start with one example that particularly bothers me. Mouth sounds, food stuff, chewing, no thank you. There are a number of times throughout the game where you sit down to have dinner with the farmer, and many of these times are deeply unpleasant. Not just because of the food either. A lot of these conversations are very telling. And sometimes your food screams at you. But my least favorite food-related thing here is when you have to feed the dog. I hate the little FMV clip they splice in of you scooping up miscellaneous gunk. I think the black and white makes it look way more gross than it actually is. It's probably just a regular stew or some such, but it makes me feel kind of sick here. The dog seems to love consuming the slop though, kind of like people with, you go ahead and insert whatever media you don't like to finish that sentence. That's a build your own joke.
Fortnite.
Now, you may have noticed from the footage so far that the models are a little clunky. Personally, I think that adds a bit of discomfort to all of their interactions, as do the animations, which largely feel pretty stock. Except for a few which are frighteningly bespoke, janky, and unpleasant. A lot of those animations are found during the sex acts, which I won't be showing for obvious reasons. But the use of these unsettling, harsh animations in those scenes shows me that this is in no way attempting to be gratuitous or even remotely appealing with its sexual content. And that actually ties in very closely to the story of the game. As it progresses, it's revealed that the farmer is an extremely puritanical man, and many, if not potentially all of the people he has captured and turned into horses, are ones that he sees as being guilty of moral corruption related to that. There's a lot of implications and often straight-up statements that say that sex is seen as evil and taboo throughout the whole game, and that's used as one of the main excuses for the unbelievably brutal treatment of these indentured people. Which is sort of an eternally relevant bit of commentary in society. Puritanism comes and goes, ironically, and with it comes a tremendous amount of shaming and condescension for those seen as promiscuous, despite the fact that sex is, as far as I've been told, quite a natural thing. In fact, there's a chore on one of the days at the farm where you have to snitch on the horses that are caught fornicating while the farmer is away. Hell, there's even a whole board written up that tracks their misbehavior. But here's a question. If they've been reduced to animals for their alleged depravity, why do we punish them for their animalistic acts? You can try to answer that, but you'll find that cruelty is rarely built on logic. Going back to disturbing artistic choices in the game, the music and soundtrack is certainly among the best examples. It uses a lot of classical and opera-style pieces to hammer in the silent film vibe, alongside the near-constant sound of a projector flickering in the background. But my personal favorite music choices are the more outwardly creepy ones. Listen to this deeply unsettling piece. sounds like it sampled those classical and opera music bits and mashed them together into horrible dread sounds. It's not dissimilar from something like Everywhere at the End of Time by The Caretaker. Hey, check out this scene.
What did you join in on? You know what? I don't think I want to explain that.
I'd say that was cinema, but that feels distasteful. Going back to the silent film format, something interesting I found is that the time period of the game is really hard to place. Yeah, it's shown like a silent film, so you might assume we're somewhere around the 1920s, and most of the architecture and technology in the farm itself doesn't really place it anywhere specific beyond maybe post-industrial revolution. But the game actually opens with us buzzing an intercom, and there's an old TV in the farm's kitchen area, among various other things that could push it from anywhere from the late 1950s to the early 1970s. But then there are VHS tapes in the game, which would put it in the late 1970s at the earliest. But some of these tapes show footage from when the presumably middle-aged farmer was a child, which, yeah, it could have been re-scanned from old film reels, but that feels unlikely. So my theory is that this game takes place comfortably within the Obama administration at minimum. Anselmo definitely got sent here because all he did at home was play Halo 3 and browse Newgrounds. It feels like this chronological mishmash of styles and content is very intentional, and I could see it serving one of two potential purposes. The first is representing what traditional
me too, Armor. Me too.
Actually feel like. I know from visiting my family in the Scottish Isles many times when I was younger that, yeah, you feel like you're in a different time altogether. Not that they're backwards or anything like that, but you're quite often surrounded by picturesque, rustic scenes that could be from 1930, but then you'll turn around and see somebody absolutely crushing pins in Wii Sports Bowling. It's an odd thing. I should mention, people on the Isle of Lewis do not keep humans as livestock, though. That's a misconception. The other thing the stylistic oddness may be commenting on is the complete, unwavering presence of power abuse and segregation throughout all eras of man, which is less whimsical to think about. Also, despite being presented like a silent film, it very much is not one. There are sounds. Not just music or other soundtracking either, like full live sound effects. But it does commit hard to not having voice acting, instead relying on the intertitles that you'd find in actual silent films. A few other games have attempted the silent film format before, but it's hard to achieve. It turns out a lot of people like sound. Nosferatu: The Wrath of Malachi was one of the other games that had the silent film look and intertitles, but that's where the similarities end. Horses lacks any cool Scottish pugilists. Hey, there may be no pugilists, but there sure is a pug. That joke only works in text. On top of all the disturbing stuff, Horses had moments of absurd, dark comedy, as much of the genre does, and I'm always skeptical of inserting comedic moments into otherwise pure horror or suspense. It's a very hard thing to do right, as you can so easily just ruin the mood entirely and annihilate any tension or pacing. But here, I think it's actually quite well done. It does shatter the atmosphere pretty immediately, but not in a hee hee ho ho, look at the funny moment, twee hee ha ha kind of way. Instead, it's in a what the hell is happening kind of way. It's absurd. It's not quite disarming, but certainly disorientating, and still deeply uncomfortable. I don't know if the game benefits from having these moments, but it's not a complete travesty to have included them either. There's something to be said for the use of comedic absurdity as a reflection of a very grim reality. No, those who
that's the thing about comedic absurdity, is that can also work as horror. It really depends on the person's definition of horror. Like, absolute absurdity in the cusp of something that is seen as generally unreal, or this can't be logically sound, can breed that. Like, it's really strange.
Forms of oppression and division don't actually ride people around like horses, but, you know, what they actually do is way worse. Find out more in my upcoming video essay, Horses Ruined Me. Here's a snippet. I really shouldn't have touched their fence. You've probably noticed, and in fact I briefly mentioned, the little FMV clips you get for certain interactions. They're cool. I like them. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say about them. I don't have something to say on every detail of the game. What am I, a YouTuber? You may have also noticed some sections of dialogue where we get to pick a little opinion button. You'll sometimes be asked your thoughts in a matter, or you'll hesitate before doing something, and in those moments, a little option pops up, which is usually something along the lines of a thumbs up, thumbs down, or a variety of funny little faces. It's nice having little moments to check in and see how compliant you're being, but the best moments like that are when you're not actually given any choice at all, but still have to choose. I love that kind of thing when it's done well. I've played the game twice now, with different answers on each of those sections, and it seemed to ultimately end the same, which was a little disappointing, but it's not a huge deal as far as I'm concerned. The only reason I played through it a second time at all was for footage. The first playthrough held the real punch. Like on day 1 of Anselmo's 2-week adventure, when you find one of the horses has escaped to the pen and killed themselves, with the farmer responding, "Oh no, not again." That's haunting. There are a lot of other moments like this, but I don't want to spoil all of them in case you want to play the game for yourself. It's a 3 to 4 hour experience, so I've already shown you more than I likely should have, but there are a few other key moments and characters I'd like to speak about before I'm done. There's a scene where you have to wrangle up some of the horses that have scattered across the property, and it looks about as absurd as you'd expect. But I did notice one detail. There's 18 of them. 18 naked horse folk out in the yard. I wonder if they knew. On one of the days...
18 naked cowboys down at the... down at the stables of Ram Ranch. 18 cocks needing sucking. Oh, I'm going to hell.
Anselmo meets a few rich folk who have come to the farm to either purchase or otherwise obtain some of the horses for private reasons. There are 2 of them, a father and a daughter, and I believe that this frightening woman, the daughter, may be the reason the game was initially banned by Steam. Because in earlier versions of the game, I believe she was much younger, and a child character interacting with naked horse folk on paper doesn't sound great, so I kind of get it, but they've since aged her up. And she is one of the most interesting characters in the whole game. She has the darkened eyes of a person who knows, and she has the words to back it up. Here's what she says to Anselmo. "I know what you're thinking. I know these aren't real horses. But, you know, the way they used to live, a lot of people find that unacceptable. I don't care personally, but usually people exhibiting immoral behavior also have dangerous ideas." And her final line is maybe the most chilling. "I hope you get to live your entire life as a human being." Oh. Thanks. I wonder how much the farmer is selling the horses for. The only price point I'm aware of for horses is what Shakespeare said. Probably a Live Aid or some other big charity do. A horse, my kingdom for a horse. Oh, well, that inflation going on, you'd be lucky to cough up only one of your kingdoms for a horse, say, pal. That's the first and last time that particular character will feature on the channel. There are 2 other human characters in the game, the vet and the priest. And the vet is one of the most despicable characters I've ever encountered, if my reading of the situation is correct. I can't fully describe why, because it's entirely too graphic and left somewhat vague, but to put it simply, someone intimately and terribly hurt one of the captive women. We entrust her to the vet, and we leave them alone. When we go back, he takes a very long time to answer the door, and when it finally opens, the woman is dead, looking like she has bled to death, with substantially greater injuries than she had before, in a very telling position. That whole section is deeply unsettling, especially given that we were the pawn that helped it all happen. And the scene that immediately follows this is... If you guys have been following the channel for a while, you'll know that it's easy to startle me, but hard to truly distress me. I've played very dark games before, including versions of Sad Satan with truly awful content within them, and those games bothered me, but more in matters of tastefulness and quality, rather than actual horror. But this toolshed scene genuinely fills me with a feeling that is hard to articulate. I can only safely show you this far. Mechanically, all we have to do in that section is press a button to hold a man's legs open as part of his punishment for allegedly hurting that woman. And it is mechanically one of the most upsetting things I've ever done, especially considering that the man was completely innocent and we knew. And then, shortly after this, is the only time in the game where Anselmo himself can engage in sexual activity, and yeah, it's fucking horrible. It's not graphic, it's just weird and gross. It's cut together a little bit like the reveal of a saw trap. I'd describe more, but I think I'm already on thin ice here. The point is, this is one of the ways that you can make sex into a vehicle for horror. It's not about the act itself, it's about the power dynamics, the manipulation of the mistreated, and the depravity of opportunists. There was then an incredibly chilling moment that I believe immediately followed this, when I checked the list of misbehaving horses, and I saw that Anselmo's name was there. That's frightening, and they never draw attention to it. That's a bespoke horror for the curious. There are a few other details like that throughout the game, which you can hear all about in my upcoming video essay, The Horse's Iceberg. Saddle. Run. Carrot. But let's talk about something more lighthearted, because we've just had several very heavy beats in a row.
I'm sorry if I'm not speaking much. That fuck.
I like that. I won't discuss much more about the characters despite very much wanting to, because they are wonderfully grim in a way that is best experienced yourself. But they all share one quality in common: hypocrisy. The most obvious one is the farmer. Despite taking a firm puritanical stance, lust seems to drive his every decision, as is all too common in the real world. I mean, there's certainly a precedent for that. That's precedent with a C, just so we're clear. And as for the others, there's the physician that brings harm to his patients, the priest that encourages hubris, and the aristocrat who, well, does what they usually do, to be fair. And with that, I'm going to force myself to stop talking about much of the game's content, despite wanting to carry on very dearly. Because if this seems to be your kind of thing, I wholeheartedly encourage playing it. It's a borderline walking simulator, which may put some of you off, but I imagine if you've made it this far in the video, you likely already understand it's more about narrative and style than anything else. I loved it. It was excellent. Unfortunately, but understandably, discussions about the banning have dominated the talk surrounding the game, with almost all outlets mainly speaking on that matter and ignoring much of the game's pretty unique qualities in the process. And those that do speak about the game more in depth do so with the shadow of the ban looming over almost every point they make, with people either saying, "It's not that bad, why did it get banned?" or even going as far as to say, "I was disappointed with how relatively safe the content actually was." That has made seeking actual discussions about the game difficult, and that's a shame. There was one article written for Wired which does speak more specifically about the game, but it's a deeply scathing, I'd argue too scathing review, which really focuses on the suitability of the game's sexual assault content, which is certainly a loaded topic. Personally, I think that the sexual assault in this game is handled far better than it is in most others. It lacks the borderline pornographic or fetish status that many games have, and it doesn't treat it as a fail state like you'd find in games like Fear and Hunger, and it doesn't make light of it either. Its inclusion is there to bolster the game's themes and make you uncomfortable based on those. It highlights the brutality of power imbalances, the nature of being a bystander, and the hypocrisy of those who often preach puritanical values. You could potentially argue that the game could stand without this content, but that's a line that's far more blurred than it is with something like, again, Fear and Hunger, which does use similar material to supplement its themes as well, but in a much more vague, everything is bleak sense. I've said before that personally I think it's extremely hard to include this kind of topic in a game without becoming pure shock value, and I think Horses manages, albeit everyone will have a different line for that. You might notice that I'm mentioning Fear and Hunger a lot. And that's because that's a game which is on the same level as, if it's not substantially more gruesome, than Horses. Yet that hasn't received the same ban, nor should it. The games also share a common value. They rely heavily on their gameplay mechanics as vehicles for their
Hammer
very
and sickle
bleak themes. In Fear and Hunger, the ideas of hopelessness and brutality and whatever else are communicated largely through the game's infamous difficulty. It's unforgiving, obtuse, some would say straight up unfair, and it is designed to squeeze as much frustration and displeasure as it can out of the player, which is great in a thesis sense, which is what Fear and Hunger was, a proof of concept for the developers' research papers, which is why much of the game's popularity is found in video essays, guides, and lore videos rather than in the actual experience of playing it blind. In Horses, however, the gameplay is quite different but has just as much thematic weight to it, because the gameplay is, frankly, extremely mundane. Almost all of the tasks you perform are chores. Watering plants, chopping wood, digging holes, feeding dogs. It's all so very normal. Some review sites, such as IGN, have claimed that this takes away from the game as these tasks can be repetitive. I couldn't disagree more, which should be the tagline for IGN at this point, but that being said, the article on IGN is actually very well written and is one of the few that fully gives the game itself the attention it deserves. The mundane and repetitive nature of your tasks works so well in contrast with the utter depravity and horror going on around you. The whole time you're going about your business, you're not just a farmhand. You're an accessory. Don't forget, in the real world, cruelty is so often mundane. Atrocities are filed in paperwork and undertaken with chores. The worst of us have tricked the rest into thinking that only grand acts of passion and hatred can be so grim. But evil often has a supply chain, designed specifically to make each link feel innocent. And that's what's going on here. No, you're not the one actually kidnapping people and torturing them, but you're sure as hell making the kidnapper and torturer's life far easier. But maybe I'm looking too far into it. After all, you're just doing what you're told. Why should you worry about that when the people above you already have it all figured out? I would talk more about this, but I'll save that for my upcoming multi-day long video essay, Horses, A Bridled Praise. And that's everything. I hope this video has given you some insight into the game beyond the chat about it being banned. I'm glad people have been outspoken against its banning. It's an art piece, which has a lot to say. A lot of that is about people who hold power. A lot of that is about the people who dictate
That
norms,
was deep.
And a lot of that is about regular, everyday people too. If I could pass on one message from this game to you all, it's this. Sometimes the most cruel thing you can do is follow the rules. And sometimes the most cruel thing you can do is nothing at all.
Wow. Okay. Fucking hell.
How do you even respond after that?
I will say though, he is kind of right on that last statement. Sometimes, literally, the factor is you following a rule might actually cause more harm than good. Just because it's considered the right thing to do doesn't inherently make it the right thing to do. If you kind of catch my drift. But that is fucked. I mean, don't get me wrong, it very much does speak on the inherent fucking dystopian state that, like, a lot of things have kind of devolved into, especially if you compare what's happening in that game comparatively to, let's just say, modern, everyday capitalist life, in which everything kind of feels like you're just a branded item for a conglomerate to use in their game of chess. But also, it's more than that, in which, like, the literal abhorrencies of mankind are stripped from, like, any kind of censor and shown to you in a manner that is meant to make you feel something, even if that something is inherently disgust and dread. Which is good because, you know, that kind of commentary is useful to have. You know, we often, as people, will avoid serious topics. We'll avoid the logic of actually confronting the uncomfortable. And it's not because we can't inherently handle it, it's because we don't want to. But it's also what allows us to better understand, one, why it's wrong, but two, just the general warning signs around it, because everything inherently does have a warning sign. When people usually say something like about a person having a red flag, it's not that that's unfounded, there's an actual pattern to it. Some people can pick up on those things, other people they just can't. So it's certainly interesting to see it. That is not a game I will play because I don't feel like buying that, especially if I can't play it on stream. That's just not a game like I would be interested in, but I actually would say, considering everything regarding that game, if you are into the more macabre aspects of narrative storytelling and you like dystopian takes, that game might actually be up your alley, even if it's not a traditional dystopian take like 1984 or Fahrenheit 451 or A Handmaid's Tale, or I think it was Bridesmaids. Was it Bridesmaids? I think it's Bridesmaids' Tale. Either way, not the point. But, you know, thank you guys so much for watching. I've had an absolute blast as always, and, you know how these things go. If you like what you saw, you can just kind of go like this and then type in socials, and then you can also type in the Discord and you can join it. I'll see who's live. I don't know if there is anyone who's live. I doubt that there is someone that I want to raid, but we'll see. That was intense, though. That was an intense fucking video to end on. Oh, fucking Rez is still live. What the hell? Alright, we're gonna go raid Rez. I got my eyes on you. You're everything that I see. I got your eyes off an emotion. Endlessly, I can't get over you. You left your mark on me. I've got your eyes off an emotion. Endlessly. Oh my god, that's stuck in my head. I just do. Take some time to de-stress. This entire stream was meant to like allow me to do that and engage in a medium I really enjoy, and it kind of did the opposite. Oh boy. Love you guys. Goodbye.